And not only that, is now that we have gotten attention of the people, that it is growing by leaps and bounds, and we have to give tremendous credit to the young generation today who are rallying behind this message of freedom. And of course, I don't think we will send a thank you note to the 3 major networks or the 5 major networks, but we can send a thank you note. I guess this thank you note, I don't know whether this goes to Al Gore or where, but we have to thank somebody for the internet. Now, I would like to thank my campaign staff for everything that's happened. And of course, it's the campaign staff was hired by me, so we say, wow, what an organization. These wonderful things coming together. But I tell you what, we have to thank you for organizing and coming to us. So in many, many ways, I'm very sincere that thank you for inviting me to this revolution. But there's a lot of reasons. Now that we see that the problems are cropping up, people know they're there, they know their economic problems, they're sick of the foreign policy, when we know that we have the answers for these, we also know that it's going to be difficult. Those who benefit from the special interests of government will not go quietly away. They will not. To teach self-reliance will be a job. But remember, this country is going to get poorer. And we understand that, and we have to be prepared. But the message is out there. The understanding is so much better than it was when I first started studying politics and economic freedom. In the 50s, it was hard to find the information. Now it's there. Many think tanks. And there are millions of people getting this information off the internet. And the way you all have organized on the internet can compete, even without the huge sums of money. I mean, nobody can measure how many dollars have been spent on the campaign effort that we didn't have to literally pay for. The harder we work, the more money we raise, and so far we've been able to save it up for that big day and that big rally in the primary because we're getting so much advertising that comes from you all and from all the spontaneity. But you know, it to me is just utterly remarkable about what's happening. Just think that essentially the money we raised in the second quarter, was that we were able to keep it in the bank. By keeping it in the bank and living off the first quarter money, we had such a powerful message. We had so much more free advertisement because we were ahead of some of those other first-tier candidates, and we had the money in the bank. We had the money in the bank, and yet we got more advertisement than anybody else, plus all the free advertisements. So that is great. It looks like our numbers will be coming in pretty soon, within a day and a half. We'll have at least some preliminary numbers, and I don't know what the numbers are. All I know is they're always going up, and I have been amazed. I have been just dumbfounded about what's happening. Where do the people come from? I mean, they keep coming, and the volunteers and the number of donations and the funds that are coming in. But I can tell you one thing, we're going to have a lot more money in the bank at the end of the third quarter than we did at the second quarter. And you know, at the beginning, we targeted 3 states. The movement got bigger than we ever dreamed of. We had no choice, but we had to expand the campaign to many other states. But this is still the key state. This is it. That is why we're here today. That is why the family's here today. That's why you're here today, is to have an impact. Because it will be the first primary. It will have a powerful message. We will be prepared. We will have the funds. and we will have the troops. So there is reason for us to be very optimistic about what's happening. And that means that the cause of liberty is on the verge of an explosion in this country. The most exciting part about the campaign is seeing all the young people and seeing the diversity. I am absolutely convinced that freedom brings diverse groups together because we're not threatening each other. At the same time, that system that is collapsing at this very moment, the system of welfareism and socialism, the 20th century essentially proved that radical socialism of the communist variety failed. Mises, the great Austrian economist, said that interventionism and welfareism and inflationism will also fail, and we are witnessing the failure of that system today. And that is the reason that we have to continue the fight. And when you say, well, let's add up the statistics. Oh, well, yes, there's a lot of us and we have enthusiasm, but we don't have 51%. It has nothing to do with 51% fully understanding and knowing what happens. Major movements in all of history have come about with 3 or 4% of the people behind it. There were only about 3% of the intellectuals at the time of our revolution that deeply understood all these principles, and you're part of that 3%. Let me tell you, you can lead the way. Our job is to popularize the ideas, and that people get to the point where they will, and they always do, vote in their own self-interest. If they think that they can continue to vote for that government that solves all their problems like they did in New Orleans, then they'll vote the other way. But the evidence is so clear with this monetary or foreign policy or economics, it's a total failure. So now we're at this point that we are just seeing this tremendous rise of this enthusiasm, and I believe it is going to continue. It is people like you that have done this and brought it together, and I think it just may be at the very beginning, and who knows what's going to happen in the next several months. But let me just close by saying, I am not a prophet. I don't know what's happening. I've been talking this way for 30 years, but something special is happening. And since I don't know the future, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't even know if the media will cover us today. Who knows? But we will be significant. And if we do that job, and we don't know, and the outcome is who knows what, but I do know one thing. This movement and this understanding and the need for this spirit of America, the spirit of freedom, is alive and well, and it will continue regardless of what happens on Election Day. But I thank you very much for all your enthusiasm and all this energy.